Welcome back everyone to the Sim Racing Show, your one-stop shop for all of the news in the world of sim racing. And this week we've got some existing sim news, a new game coming in VR, we've got force feedback news, force feedback wars with hardware, and we've got other updates as well. I'm going to start with the existing sim that is Le Mans Ultimate. For a lot of people that is your favourite sim, and they're now asking, they're doing a big official community survey feedback thing, and I think it's because I don't think Le Mans Ultimate know where they want to go next. So Le Mans Ultimate have managed to get their game out in early access. It exists. It works. A lot of people really like it. Some people don't like it, but that's fine. People aren't going to like everything. And they need to know what to concentrate on. Should they concentrate on VR? Should they concentrate on their simultaneous multiplayer thing? Should they concentrate on bringing the GT3s quicker so we're not still driving the GTEs? I think they want to know, what do we think of the season pass? What do we think for paying for DLC even though it's early access? So they've come out with a survey. I'm taking it sort of at face value. I think they want that feedback. Motorsport games, obviously, terrible history in terms of delivery. Absolutely atrocious. They've actually delivered something now. I think that's improved their reputation a bit, but they need to know where to go next. I don't know if the game is making enough money for motorsport games. It might not be making enough money. Maybe they, the fact they're aggressively monetizing it might indicate that, but I don't know at all. The next thing I want to talk about is force feedback wars. So many of us will have got an email from Mosa saying that the Mosa R12 has been updated. It looked like from the email that there's a new Mosa R12. So I've got the Mosa R16 behind me. It's the one just below that with new force feedback. They call it something like New Gen 3.0 or something. Yeah, new Next Gen 3.0 force feedback. That's actually a software thing. It's going to apply to everyone who has a Mosa R12. I don't think that's the most important thing. The most important thing is that they're actually lowering the price of the Mosa R12 to £499 in the UK. So £500 basically in the UK. That now competes with very favorably with the Camus C12, also a 12 Newton meter wheel. And I think it now over competes with, say, the Fanatec CSL DD with the extra power pack, the boost pack. So you're getting 12 Newton meters with Mosa for £500. Yes, there's distinctions between peak torque, average torque, all that kind of stuff, the quality of the force feedback. But from what I've seen, the update actually does improve the force feedback with Mosa. I felt before sometimes it gets too light in the middle and it can rattle a little bit when you're going down the straights. Apparently they've worked on that exactly. But anyway, Mosa force feedback, I think indicative there's going to be more competition in the hardware space. We'll get into that later because I know Truck Simulator fans, you again want to know about Truck Simulator news. And there's a big update coming, or basically the Truck Simulator people are sort of doing a similar update for both American Truck Sim and Euro Truck Simulator. So it's going to bring graphical updates, UI updates as well. It's a version 1.51 build. Interesting. I think they need to build a Truck Simulator universe where it's all kind of together. I went out and I bought American Truck Simulator and everyone told me I should have got ETS2 instead. I've got the Mosa truck wheel, so I'm going to be doing some more trucking soon with my sequential shifter. But yeah, I feel like Truck Simulator, when I play it, it's a game that feels like a game. Like, it's fun to play. Like, I get it. You have your truck, you choose a delivery and you go and you deliver it and it's fun. I went on my Xbox the other day. I wanted to play after work, like just anything on my Xbox, and I could not play a single thing because everything on it needed updating. It's absolutely insane. Why I couldn't have done that in the last 3 months and I played on the Xbox, don't know. But anyway, Truck Simulator, good games, good to see them updating it. Esports news now. I brought to your attention before this esports competition, the UK FF16 Esports Cup, or the British. We'll put the exact name in. I think it's basically this esports competition iRacing mirrors the British F4 Championship in real life, which is quite interesting. This is one where they went to Zandvoort and then the lights turned red and then green and then red again or something. It was really weird. But anyway, interesting format here because anyone can qualify for this via time trial. So it's going to be a time trial one. Pros and cons here. I think it's very democratic in a way. If you've got the time and you quit, you can qualify. So the fastest 25 drivers who enter this, which is in Brands Hatch in the FF1600, qualify for this championship. After that, you need to pay a £60 entry fee and you need to have a Motorsport UK esports license. For that, you can get a cheap one for £25. So you do need to pay. People with esports teams, they'll pay it. If I'm sponsoring any drivers, I'll pay it for them as well. So the costs will not too much of an issue here, but the top 25 will qualify, and it is being broadcast, and there are going to be esports teams looking at it. So if you're watching the sim racing show and you're a very fast esports driver, maybe in the UK, go check it out. Let me know if you're interested in it. You need some support as well. It'd be great to sponsor more drivers there, as we've done in the past. We sponsored a driver in the past who's now a racing prodigy, racing in the US, which is very, very cool. Speaking of the US, and speaking of where they were racing, Road Atlanta's come to Forza. Now, I think Forza Motorsport is getting really hung out by their marketing with built from the game up, ground up. I bet they wish they'd never said that, because this is another track that's been in Forza before and it's come back, and now Forza are saying no more new tracks until October at least. So the tracks that have come, were they ready for launch? Probably not. Were they developed quite heavily before launch? Probably yes. So are there really new tracks? Probably no, not in the sense of it. Are we going to get an actual new one in October? Possibly. But again, this piece of news for me is not just about the new track. Actually, the most interesting thing about Forza Motorsport right now is they are doing multi-class racing officially in multiplayer, like the official multiplayer. Now, I recently did a race on Forza Motorsport. I ran it for Gillette and Xbox, and in it were people like the Sidemen, Zerka, Danny Aarons, Jimmy Broadbent, T. McMurdoch. And when I was running it, I ran the lobby, there was an option to do it all multi-class. We could have done it multi-class as well. So the fact that Forza's got multi-class, they've had a big focus on endurance, doing an endurance month. They've added the Aston Martin GTE, which is a great car to add, one that I've been up close with. Shows they're really interested in multi-class and sort of like WEC and IMSA. They added Sebring as well, they added the Porsche 963. More so than Gran Turismo. Like, I don't think Gran Turismo would dare do multi-class. So I'm going to get on Forza and see how that's going to be. Obviously, I'm doing stuff with Logitech G Challenge at the moment, which is a time trial thing, but I want to get into ranked multiplayer and see how that's going to be. Very interesting concept. Multi-class endurance in sim racing on console. Now, VR news. There is a new VR game coming in racing, and it is going to be... No, you didn't get it, unless you did, in which case, congratulations. It's Flat Out. So Flat Out is coming to VR, and it's even going to come on PSVR 2 on PS5, I think. So that's interesting, because if you have a PSVR 2 headset like I do, like I bought, the only racing game you can play really is Gran Turismo. So seeing another VR game coming is great, and it's not going to be the original Flat Out, it's going to be based on Flat Out 4, but it's a very interesting one. Maybe it means we get something like Test Drive Unlimited in VR as well in the future, which would be crazy. That could be I think if you're a console gamer and you've got PSVR 2, we are just screaming out for more VR racing games, whether it's Rally, whether it's F1, whatever. We just want them, and if it comes up, I'm going to buy it. So interesting to see this one. Good to see more active racing VR development. Obviously, I've spoken a bit in the past about like the new Superbike game that's in VR on the MetaQuest, but a lot of the sim racing games I play in VR are actually quite old, like iRacing, ACC. Rensport has VR, but it's terrible, really bad. F124 has VR, but it's terrible, really bad. Le Mans Ultimate doesn't officially support it, which is not great. So yeah, always want to see more VR stuff. I was on a podcast today with Pimax talking about VR, and I'm using the Pimax Crystal Light at the moment, which is a great headset for that. Now I want to touch on Fanatec, because Fanatec is in a new stage of the insolvency, and basically it's sort of a fire sale now, but there's 30 interested investors. There's a data remark, which basically means Fanatec have uploaded all of their financial documents, all of the information about the company to investors, and they're going to sell it to the highest bidder, essentially. What does that mean for us? So I'm not an employee of Fanatec, I'm not a shareholder of Fanatec, I am a customer of Fanatec. I buy Fanatec equipment with my own money. So as a customer of Fanatec, I think it's really important who it gets sold to. If it gets sold to a hedge fund that just want to do profitability, I might suffer as a customer because it might prioritize new shareholders or new investors. If they sell it to a competitor who just wants to close them out and reduce competition, I might lose out as well. You might lose. When I say I am kind of speaking for all customers. So I hope Fanatec gets sold to someone who's going to just improve the business, and Fanatec can go back to being like a real competitor in sim racing with good reputation, innovative products. That means that as customers, we're having more choice for products. But at the moment, it's unclear. And if it's going to go to the highest bidder, it could go to someone who's not necessarily aligned with our interests as customers. Interesting one. You know I'm going to be covering that on this channel as soon as the news drops. So make sure you're subscribed. I know so many of you are, so please, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Let me know your sim racing news in the comments and how the races you've been doing, what you're playing at the moment. Always good to know. And I will see you next time.